My sister had always been a star. Straight A's, corporate ladder, picture-perfect fiancé. Imagine your own sister at her wedding in front of everyone you love, calling you an embarrassment. What she didn't know was that her powerful CEO boss, who overheard everything, was actually about to hand me a $220,000 contract and expose her for the fraud she truly was. My sister, Isabel, was practically dragging me across the marble floor of the Grand Meridian Hotel ballroom. Her fingers dug into my forearm. I knew the exact cost of her wedding dress, $20,000, because I'd successfully negotiated the final price down from $24,000. Her smile was too wide, too sharp, the kind of smile that meant she was on the verge of tears. "Mr. Harrington," she practically shrieked, her voice cutting through the jazz quartet and the champagne-fueled chatter. "I absolutely need you to meet someone very special." Conversations near us sputtered to a halt. My stomach clenched. Everyone was looking at me. David Harrington, 55, the vice president of operations at Parkview Financial Group, sat there in a charcoal Tom Ford suit that probably cost more than my monthly rent. He'd flown all the way from Boston for Isabel's wedding. She'd been his executive assistant for 2 years, and she never stopped gushing about how important he was, how prestigious her position. "This is my brother, Ethan," Isabel announced, her voice dripping with performative pity. "Our family shame." The words hit me like a punch. I felt my neck grow hot. She laughed, a cruel practice sound. "Still single at 40, still running some insignificant consulting business that nobody understands." She shrugged, a tiny gesture that felt utterly devastating. "Some people just never figure out what they want out of life." My father, from the head table, chimed in. "We just stopped expecting a lot from Ethan about 10 years ago." My mom, covering her mouth and giggling, added, "At least we have one child who is successful." I stood there, frozen. My hands were shaking at my sides. 40 years of being unnoticed, of being the quiet one who took care of everything while Isabel took all the credit. And now this. Humiliation. At her wedding. The wedding I had practically planned myself. But Mr. Harrington didn't laugh. He sat perfectly still, a champagne flute halfway to his mouth. His gaze flickered from Isabel to my parents, then settled back on me. His expression was utterly unreadable, carved from granite. "Ethan," he whispered, breaking the suffocating silence. "What kind of consulting do you do?" I blinked, surprised he was even addressing me. "Corporate restructuring. Financial consulting. I help small to medium-sized businesses in crisis." "How long have you been doing this?" 15 years. He nodded slowly, lowering his champagne flute to the table without taking a sip. "Very interesting." Now, he looked at Isabel, but it was like looking through broken glass. All the warmth had drained from his face. "Isabel, I need you in my office first thing Monday morning. 8 o'clock. Sharp. Try not to be late." He stood up, adjusted his cufflinks, and walked towards the exit without another word. The silence he left behind was deafening. Isabel's smile wavered, replaced by a look of utter bewilderment. My parents exchanged confused glances, Mom's mouth slightly agape, Dad's forehead furrowed. Nobody understood what had just happened. I didn't either, not fully. 20 minutes later, I excused myself, claiming a headache. My hands were still shaking on the steering wheel as I drove home to my small house on the outskirts of Riverside. I was always the quiet one, the one who didn't require attention, who chose not to demand praise.